Good morning to all of you. This is the second video lecture on synchronous motor drives in the PhD subject. So before going to start the today's lecture, so let us briefly summarize the contents covered in earlier class. So in earlier class we covered started the control of synchronous motors. That's the unit number 5th, and it discussed the what is the speciality of the synchronous motors, its advantages compared to the induction motors, and its applications, and the basic principle of operation, and the constructional details of the synchronous motors, and two familiar rotors such as cylindrical rotor as well as the salient pole rotors. So those rotors mathematical analysis with help of the equivalent circuit diagram as well as the phasor diagram are considered into account, and followed by one mathematical problem which belongs to the cylindrical rotor discussed in earlier class. So let us start the today's class. It is the speed control of synchronous motors. So one point here mentioned. So far what we discussed belongs to the synchronous motors. Those are very basic details. Those already familiar for us. So those details are more supportive in case of the answering 2 marks questions. And also those expressions, those formulas are useful in the further contents which is the speed control of synchronous motors. So therefore those details are essential throughout the unit. So let us start with the today's topic, which is the speed control of synchronous motors. So here I am mentioning one point. Already induction motor is also an AC motor. So the broad speed control of induction motor is stator side control as well as rotor side control. Stator side has stator voltage control, stator frequency control. Due to individual variation of stator voltage and frequency, there is a new method which is developed, V by F control method and pole changing method. Similarly, come to the rotor side, conventional rotor resistance control, static rotor resistance control, slip power recovery schemes. So all these methods are there in the induction motor. But just you observe the induction motor speed control which is implemented to the synchronous motor. Synchronous motor is always rotating with a synchronous speed. The rotor always tracks with the stator. So therefore, there is no speciality in the rotor. Rotor is almost short circuited. You can't do anything. That's why all the rotor side speed controls are completely omitted, and only you are concentrated the speed control on stator side. So while speed control of stator side, the familiar methods such as voltage control, frequency control, and due to the individual drawbacks of voltage control and frequency control, there is a familiar method which is the volts by H, otherwise V by F control method is come into picture. Yes. So voltage control is also not that much of effective in synchronous motor because of the loss of synchronism, and only you are concentrated on frequency along with voltage. Why? Because synchronous motor is always rotating with a synchronous speed. So synchronous speed general formula is 120 F by P. So synchronous speed is directly proportional to the frequency. So frequency, you have to command over the frequency, resulting synchronous speed is to be changed. The frequency is to be varied from its initial value to a desired value in such a way that the rotor is always able to track. Pull out of synchronism is a problem for us. Therefore, a problem for the motor goes to standstill condition. So we are changing the frequency in such a way that it cannot lose the synchronism. That means that the rotor as well as stator locking. So in this fashion, we have to be change the frequency. So let us start here. So we know that the synchronous speed is directly proportional to frequency, similar to the induction motors at constant flux operation. Below base speed is achieved by operating the synchronous motor with constant V by F ratio. Once rated voltage is reached at base speed, the machine is operating at rated terminal voltage and variable frequency per higher speeds. So therefore, what we concluded in the V by F control method is the maximum torque is constant for constant flux operation and it is decreasing with increasing frequency per higher speeds. So this criteria as this explanation is completely whatever you did in the induction motor in the same fashion here also we are comparing. That means that per below rated speeds voltage and frequency ratio V by F has maintained constant. For above rated speeds V is kept constant and frequency has to be increased. So that is the statement here we have to be mentioned. The maximum torque is constant for constant flux operation and it is decreasing with increasing in supply frequency per higher speed. So therefore speed control of synchronous motor may be achieved by voltage fed inverters. So as usually we discussed in induction motors, V by F control is achieved either voltage source inverters or current source inverters or cycloconverter. In the same is to be implemented for synchronous motors. So voltage fed inverters, current fed inverters and cycloconverter. So here I am adding one more point. Once you understand the speed control of induction motors thoroughly, so this is easier for us. So that's why you concentrate speed control methods of induction motor, that too V by F control methods in induction motor side. Once you understand thoroughly, then you come here, it is easier for us. So hence, the variable frequency control may employ in this following two modes in synchronous motors. So what are the two modes in the sense? One is the separate control or open loop true synchronous mode. Other one is self control or closed loop mode. So I am adding one more point here. So please remember all of you. So without this today's class topic, that is the either separate control mode or self control mode, without these topics there will be no question paper. You remember this point and you remember mine at the time of examination. So see the either separate control or self control. We give the first priority for this topic in this unit so that you will able to write the a 10 marks descriptive question as well as 4 marks 2 marks questions. Please try to concentrate on this topic thoroughly. So let us start the first one, which is the separate control of synchronous motors. So it is also known as the open loop true synchronous mode. Is so in separate control of synchronous motor. So see here, there is a block diagram is how the configuration is to be connected. So before coming to this method, so how the frequency is varied, how the voltage is varied, let us have some basics here. So in separate control mode, stator supply voltage, supply frequency is controlled from an independent oscillator. Is so rated frequency is there and reference frequency is there. So those frequencies are to be controlled by an independent oscillator. Here the supply frequency is gradually changed from its initial speed to desired value, so that the difference between synchronous speed and rotor is very negligible. Why? Because rotor is always tracking with the stator. So is there any differences between these two speeds? Immediately the synchronous motor lose its synchronism and goes to rest position. So that's why you should carefully take on this point. The frequency is to be varied in such a way that the rotor always tracks the stator speed. This is done in such a way that rotor always keep uh, track of the change in synchronous speed. This is not track TREC track of the changes in synchronous speed. Yes. So let us come to the next one. Yes. So where this method is used is, so this method is best suited for multiple synchronous reluctance or permanent magnet machine drives. For example, where a group of motors necessity is there. For example, in spinning mills you are taking, otherwise textile mills you are taking, while giving the threads number of motors are parallelly working. So this is best suited for such kind of applications where close speed tracking is essential, such as fiber spinning mills, textile mills, paper mills. Yes. So, and this method can be used for smooth starting and regenerative braking operations also. See that the separate control system as shown. So this is the configuration of the system where uh, see the how the synchronous reluctance or permanent magnet motors are to be excited. Initially, a single phase or three phase AC supply is fed through a rectifier, diode rectifier. It is very clear. So the speciality of diode rectifier is it takes a constant AC supply and convert it into a constant DC supply. It does not give a variable DC voltage. It gives only one voltage. Yes. So difference between the thyristor rectifier and diode rectifier in the sense, only diodes it placed. Even in bridge formation, only diodes it occupies. So the cost and control is drastically reduces. So the rectified DC voltage is fed through a LC filter for purification, and then it is fed with the three phase voltage fed PWM inverter. So VSI PWM inverter here is, so the inverter output is connected to the same inverter, a parallel combination of number of synchronous reluctance motors as well as permanent magnet motors. So this is the generalized system, a open loop system. Yes. So AC source, modulator, and filters, and inverter, motor, loads. That's all. So in this configuration, so we have to command over the frequency. That is more important for us. Why? Because so synchronous motors always rotating at the synchronous speed. So we have to command over the frequency, resulting the speed of the synchronous motor is varied. But note, synchronous motor speed is varied in such a way that the rotor is always able to track the stator speed. Then only it is possible. Once you have to change drastical frequency, so motor has a trouble with losing the synchronization. That should be remembered in mind. And see here, the command frequency F star. The command frequency F star, which is processed through a delay circuit, is, and then applied to the VSI. So different values of the frequencies, different values of speeds are getting here. Why? Because NS is equal to 120 F by P. Basically, the synchronous motors operated with only synchronous speed. So frequency is continuously changing. Obviously, the speed of the motors is to be changed. And there is a flux control block here, so which gives the voltage change. For below rated speeds, V by F as constant. For above rated speed, this block has saturated, so that it will give always a rated voltage or constant voltage. At that time, frequency has to be increased for getting the above rated speeds. Yes. So this configuration is very simple, a open loop system and a frequency command processed through a delay circuit and fed to the VSI PWM inverter, and flux control block, which is helpful for changing the voltage. Yes. So let us summarize what's the points here. So this is the open loop volts by H. Otherwise, open loop V by F are separate control of multiple permanent magnet synchronous mode. Here all machines are connected in parallel. All machines are connected in parallel to the same inverter, and they move in response to the command frequency F star at the input. Is, so all the parallel connected synchronous motors are completely depend upon the command frequency F star. The F star, after passing through the delay circuit, is applied to the VSI fed inverter. This is done so that rotor speed is able to track the changes in frequency. A flux control block is used to change the stator voltage with frequency. See here, stator voltage with frequency, so as to maintain constant flux per speed below base speeds and constant terminal voltage per speed above base speeds. Yes, see this one, and let us discuss the drawbacks of the separate control scheme. So this one, this inverter is to be fed through the diode rectified followed by an LC filter. Yes, see here the PWM inverter is supplied from a diode rectifier and LC filter. The machine can be built with damper winding to prevent oscillations. So hunting is one of the major problem in synchronous motor. Hunting is nothing but what is the hunting? As per your idea, during the load variations, there is a oscillations. Is that phenomena is hunting? To avoid that one, a damper windings are to be provided. So therefore, the open loop system or separate control has inherently the following drawbacks. That is, first one is the hunting up motor, second one is problems of instability, third one is poor dynamic behavior, and fourth one harmonic distortion causing additional losses and parasitic torques. So all the above drawbacks except harmonic distortion may be completely eliminated by using the motor operated in self-control. Basically, open loop system has certain drawbacks. So those drawbacks are overcome with help of the advanced system. In this regards, the self-control mode or closed loop system is coming to the picture. See, let us see here is this the black diagram of the self-controlled or closed loop operation. So here you can use a permanent magnet synchronous motor or a reluctance motor whose stator as well as rotor. So this synchronous motor stator is fed through an inverter. Inverter is here for controlling the voltage as well as the frequency. Is so that inverter is fed through a DC supply. So a DC supply, inverter and motor is, and here on the rotor we mounted the absolute position encoders so that it always follows the position and speed and pace of the rotor. So that means that here the rotor is able to follow the stator speed or not. That is the difference it is observed, and that should be suppose until unless there is no difference between stator speed and rotor speed, the absolute magnet position encode does not give any data. If it has a difference of the speed between stator as well as rotor, it immediately rectified through the finding what is the error in signal. Error in signal that is processed through a control to the inverter. So inverter has a controlled operation switches. So those are controlled just by changing the firing angles of the system. So a delay command has to be processed through the control, and the control signal is goes to the inverter, which is obtained from the position encoder. So once this is to be rectified, automatically the inverter output has to be, and output has to be changed. Immediately the speed of the stator has to be changed to track the rotor speed. This one is the self-control PMSM, permanent magnet synchronous motor. Self-control synchronous motor. See here, in self-control mode, the supply frequency is changed so that synchronous speed as that of the rotor speed. So we are changing the frequency in such a that synchronous speed and rotor speed, both speeds will be changing. Hence, rotor cannot pull out of sleep. Is so there is a problem in the earlier method, that is the open loop system. There may be a loss of synchronism. Otherwise, the rotor pull out of sleep so that the motor goes to standstill condition. Here, such type of problem is almost eliminated. Why? Because is there any minute variation of the speed between stator as well as the rotor, this absolute magnet position encoder sense that one, and that detect the what is the difference, this the error, the difference between the stator as well as the rotor speeds. This is processed through the processed through the control circuit to the inverter. Inverter control circuit may be obviously PWM techniques to change the V by F control. Yes, so rotor cannot pull out of slip and hunting oscillations. Hunting oscillations are eliminated. For such a mode of operation, the motor does not require any damper winding. See the advantage of this. So, hunting problem in the motor previously, that is overcome with help of the following the rotor as well as stator speed very closely, so that the damper windings are not required here. Yes. So let us have the stator winding of the machine is fed by an inverter that generates the S. So the stator winding of the system has to be fed through an inverter that generates the uh, variable frequency and variable voltage sinusoidal supply. Yes. So inverter frequency is from an independent oscillator. Here the frequency and pace of the output waveform are controlled by an absolute position encoder mounted on machine shaft, giving it self-control characteristics as shown. Yes. So this description completely belongs to the what we explained here. Yes. So in this control, the machine behavior is decided by the torque angle and voltage and current. Voltage or current. So self-control motor run as a properties of DC motor both under steady state and otherwise dynamic conditions, and therefore called commutatorless motor. These machines have better stability behavior. This is the more advantage of the closed loop speed control of synchronous motor when compared to that of the open loop or separate control. So on this time we define the what is the line commutated inverter and what is the load commutated inverter. So simply in our generally speaking, if the inverter utilizes the line voltages for commutation, so that is nothing but line commutated inverter. Suppose if the inverter utilizes the motor voltages per commutation as well as the control, that is the load commutated inverter. Simply speaking, inverter utilizing line voltages per commutation of the thyristors, so that is the line commutated inverter. If the inverter utilizes the motor voltages for commutation purpose as well as the control purpose, at that time it is known as the load commutated inverter. See here, when synchronous motor is overexcited, they can supply reactive power required for commutation of thyristors. So in this case, the inverter works similar to the line commutated inverter where the firing signals are synchronized with line voltages. Similarly, when the firing signals are synchronized with machine voltages, then these voltages can be used for both control as well as commutation. Hence, the frequency of the inverter will be same as that of the machine voltage. This type of inverters are called load commutated inverters. In earlier external examination, in 2 marks question, what is the load commutated inverter is simply asked. Yes, see the difference between load commutated inverter as well as line commutated inverters. And let's go for the comparisons between separate control as well as self-control mode of synchronous motors. So in this regards, keep the paper in two parts and you keep one side as a separate control mode, another side is a self-control mode. This is the comparisons between. So this is nothing. No, so far what we discussed regarding the self-control mode as well as separate control mode, those two are discriminated with the two parts. What is what? See, the first one under the separate control. Yes, one side we kept as a separate control mode, another side is a self control mode. So let us start uh, the points belongs to separate control mode as well as self control mode. So in this regards, the point number one, separate control over system is a open loop system. It is a open loop control of synchronous motor. It is a closed loop control of synchronous motor. It is very clear. The voltage source inverters used for providing variable frequency supply to facilitate open loop operations. So VSI inverters are used for open loop operations, whereas here CSI, current source inverters. current source inverters are used for providing closed loop operations. The supply frequency is controlled from an independent frequency oscillator. Is the frequency is completely supplied from an independent controlled oscillator. The supply frequency is controlled or changed in proportional to the rotor speed. Why? Because it is a closed loop system. Is so the rotor pulls out of step due to hunting oscillations. So a damper winding is used to pull into synchronism. Damper winding is mandatory here, but here my damper winding is not required because we are always able to track the rotor as well as rotor speed, which is following the stator speed or not with help of the closed loop control. Is so the rotor cannot pull out of synchronism as hunting oscillations are eliminated, so damper winding is not required. This mode has poor dynamic behavior, problem of hunting, oscillations and instability. Poor dynamic behavior, problem of hunting oscillations and instability. This mode has better stability behavior in steady state as well as dynamic and pre-hunting and instability. Is so this mode of control is applicable for low speed synchronous motors used in textile, fiber, paper and spinning mills. These are the applications. Whereas here, see the self-control mode is employed for starting large synchronous machines in gas turbines and pumped storage water plants. In this mode, motor does not have the properties of DC motor, but it is similar to the conventional motor. But in this mode, motor has a properties of DC motor and it is therefore called as a commutatorless motor, CLM. Is so this the differences between the separate control mode as well as the self control mode. So once again I am adding one more point. There is no question paper without this topic, so please be concentrate on this topic. One is the self control, another one is the separate control mode. The first descriptive question is based 100% based upon this topic. Now one more problem is there. Let us discuss this problem and close this class today. See the problem. A 20 kilowatts 3-phase 440 volts 4-pole delta connected permanent magnet synchronous motor has following parameters: Xs is equal to 5 ohm, Rs is equal to 0, rated power factor at unity. Machine is controlled by variable frequency control at a constant V by F ratio. Calculate armature current, torque angle and power factor at half full load torque and 750 rpm. So for this we need to calculate armature current, torque angle and power factor. So the output power equation is given by Pm is equal to root 3 VL Is cos phi. So while calculation of all this, he mentioned a point: half full load torque. Half full load torque in the sense, so the output power is half full load torque is given Pm is equal to 20 by 2 10 kilowatts. Is so VL is 440 because of delta connection and all the parameters are available. Substitute in this Pm equation. Pm is 10 into 10 power 3. It is kilowatts, not uh, plus value. It is 10 kilowatts, which is equal to root 3 into 440 into Is into 1. So Is is equal to, after calculation of this, Is is equal to 13.12 amperes. And first parameter armature current is over. That's the current in the synchronous motor is over. And the next one, torque angle. So excitation EMF E is torque angle, where it comes E at an angle of delta. Delta is unknown here. So excitation EMF E is given by E is equal to V minus J XS into Is. So you substitute V is reference 440 at an angle of 0 because of delta connection, minus J is 5 into at an angle of 90, Jx is 5 at an angle of 90 and Is is 13.12 at an angle of 0. And do all the calculations. It has a 444.86 at an angle of minus 8.48. But Pm is equal to 3 VE by Xs sin delta. Here delta is the power angle. Substitute all the parameters: Pm 3 V and E by Xs Sin delta, calculate the sin delta. Sin delta is equal to 0.08514 and torque angle is delta is equal to 4.88 degrees. And the last parameter, which is the power factor. The equation for IS is given by IS is equal to the difference of voltages from the equivalent circuit. The differences of voltages from source to the load, V minus E at an angle of delta by Jxs. So substituting all the values, because all the values are available for us, and calculate it, it is the 7.5965 at an angle of 4.89 degrees. So now cos pi is equal to cos 4.89 degrees. So power factor is equal to 0.996 leading. Why? Because this synchronous motor power factor is obviously very high compared to that of the induction motor. Why? Because synchronous motor is sometimes operated for power factor correction without any load. Is so it has different excitations. So this is the today's class. So I will give the homework, the assignment on this class perfectly. So please be concentrate, and we'll meet in the interactive session at 3 p.m. Thank you one and all, and we will meet in the next class on Wednesday. Thank you one and all.